Hey guys, Stephanie here with the Aeroponic Tower channel, and today I wanted to share with you some of the things I'm harvesting for green juice. I juice every other day to every third day, but I make sure I consume a green juice every single day, and I wrote a blog post about that, just sharing my healing story and some of the reasons why I do that. So if you want to read that, head below to the description. I'll make sure to put a link down below to that article. But I have just seen really tremendous health benefits from drinking green juice every day. I don't juice every day because it's a little bit too much work. What I will do is harvest enough for 2 to 3 days. Today I'm going to show you guys what 2 days looks like. I'll harvest for 2 days of juice. I juice and then I just stick one that I'm not going to consume that day into the freezer immediately after juicing, so it stays alive and we don't have any enzyme loss, and then I'll drink that one tomorrow. So let me show you guys what I grow specifically for juicing. Of course, all this food I use for soups and salads and everything else too, but these are the things I like to add to my juice, and I will share with you guys some reasons why. So if you're familiar with juicing, a lot of the benefits you're probably already familiar with. A lot of people are led to juicing because of a healing journey they're on and something specific they're going through. That's actually what started my journey with juicing many years ago. But if you are juicing regularly, an aeroponic tower is a game changer. I think it has the greatest benefit for juicers because we go through so many greens and so many things when we're juicing that the cost is a lot more for those of us who juice if we're not growing our own food. So definitely grab an aeroponic tower. If you are a daily juicer, it will pay for itself 10 times over before you know it. The other thing is I can get the freshest, most alive organic greens into my juice. So I'm going to harvest these things and I'm going to go inside and juice in the next 15 minutes after I'm done recording this video. So this food is super fresh. It's not exposed to any pesticides. Greens at the grocery store, things like kale, have been known to have over 20 different pesticides found on them. So we don't have to worry about those things. And then also diversity. When in the past I was purchasing greens from the grocery store at the health food market to juice, I had to buy a lot of different greens, which take up a lot of space in the refrigerator, or I would just get a big, huge bunch of kale and just do kale or whatever it might be, celery. In an aeroponic tower, you can grow a huge variety of things. So I'll share with you guys some of the things that I grow specifically for juicing because I like them in my drinks for health benefits. But I can just get the variety so I can make sure that my green juice is not just fresh and healthy, but is also really diverse in the nutrients in it so that I'm putting the most nutrient dense juice into my cells. The difference between juicing and smoothies, you're gonna be keeping the fiber, and sometimes I'll go on a smoothie kick. Sometimes I'm just doing juices. I lean towards juices. Personally, love juice, and I'm just indifferent or kind of okay with smoothies. I don't like the texture of them, but the children love them, so I make them for the children. I'm actually harvesting things for their smoothies right now too, but it's just preference. So if you're doing a smoothie, you're gonna have the fiber in the drink still, which is gonna slow the absorption of sugar. Some people say that they stay fuller on them because you have the fiber in there. I actually have found that to be the opposite. I actually stay fuller longer when I drink a really dense green juice, and I will share how dense mine are. They are very dense, but they're also very delicious. That would really be the only difference, is one has fiber. It's gonna help you absorb sugars a little bit more slowly. When you're juicing, the goal is not to activate the digestive system and to push those nutrients right into your cells. I look at juicing as almost like taking vitamins. It's just pumping the most nutritious food right into my cells to help undo damage that might have been caused from the day before or whatever it might be. So let's take a little tour of the towers and let me show you guys some things that I am going to be juicing today. All right guys, so here's my celery, and I cannot wait until spring when we can go outside and take some of these videos outside where the lighting's better. So thanks for being patient with just the bright overhead lights. I'm in a garage, by the way. I grow all our food in the garage in the winter months, and then I move them outside as soon as the weather's warm enough. I actually do keep one tower indoors year round, just to make sure I always have access to fresh lettuce that's grown really well and not bitter because it's exposed to too much heat or bugs or things like that. But for the most part, these will all go outside. They grow faster outside. In the winter, you can see I have amazing growth on my towers and there are no gaps in what I need. There's plenty of food to come out and harvest every single day, but the lighting's bad in here. It's a garage. It's just nice when we can get out into the natural sunlight and the fresh air. But for now, we're growing inside and I have my celery right here. Celery grows amazing on the tower. It's easy. It's a little bit slower, and I will link below a video on seed starting where I talk a little bit about celery. But to harvest for juicing, you just come out and grab them like this. I juice the leaves and everything. Celery is full of all sorts of amazing nutrition. It kind of hit the market as being something you should juice every day. A lot of people just juice celery juice and drink that every morning, especially to support the thyroid. So you could do that. If you juice celery every single morning, you could do an entire tower of just celery and you would have plenty of celery to come out and harvest for your morning juice every day. So this came off of one plant, which was this one over here to the side. I have 4 going on this one right here with new seeds started. So I'll just harvest off this until there's nothing left. And I plant new seeds as soon as they're ready and large enough to go into the tower. And that makes sure that I always have a supply of celery for juicing and soups and chickpea tuna fish or whatever we want to use celery for. So celery is definitely one I add to my juices every time I juice. All right, so I turned this same tower around, and another thing I grow specifically for juicing is broccoli, and I like to juice broccoli leaves, but when they get to be like this, where I have harvested off of them so much that their growth is stunted and it has a little broccoli floret that's wanting to open and go to flower, then I just harvest the whole stem and I will put this entire thing in my juice. Broccoli leaves have the same nutrition as the broccoli head. If you're growing broccoli indoors, aeroponically, you're not gonna get a giant broccoli head. Even outside, it's tricky to get really big heads. You can get a medium-sized head, and I'm doing some experiments because I think I know why they don't get super big. So I'm running some experiments on that. So, I'll keep you guys posted as I figure it out. But really, it's the greens that I care about. They are loaded with selenium, vitamin K, and are really nutritious to add to your green juice. I also am on a mission to detox estrogen. Are a woman and are prone to dense breast tissue or have some concerns, that's an estrogen buildup. So I add broccoli leaves and the stems and florets when they're available to my green juice to support estrogen detox, as well as just the overall health benefits of cruciferous vegetables. All right, so I have a lot of things on this tower that I juice, and you don't need as many towers as I do to juice. One tower, you could set it up with all your juicing greens and it's more than enough. I just have a lot of them because I'm working towards growing 90% of all our produce this way. But on this tower, I have Swiss chard, and we know Swiss chard is a superfood. I don't love Swiss chard cooked. I don't like it raw unless it's super tiny baby leaves in a salad. And even then, I don't love it as much as other greens, but in my juice, it's amazing. I don't even taste it. So Swiss chard is definitely one I grow specifically for juicing. So in this tower, I also grow watercress, and watercress grows really easy on a tower. It likes its feet and roots in water, so it's just ideal for this type of gardening. Really high in vitamin C and really great for collagen. So if you have any sort of wound healing you're trying to do, which I like to think of that internally. If you're trying to heal something like your gut or the lining of your stomach, this is a great one for that. Also, another one that you can harvest outside in almost any growing zone is plantain. Juicing plantain is amazing if you're trying to heal like the lining of your stomach or your gut lining or things like that. But watercress goes really easy on the tower. It's easy to propagate. You can have it year round, no big deal. And it's just a great one to add to your juice. So I mentioned watercress being high in vitamin C, and this plant right here, I have it on this one as well as over here. Oh, cilantro. So yeah, cilantro is a great one. I didn't mean to pull that out. I thought I was pulling out a different herb, but cilantro is a great one to juice, helps with heavy metal detox. But the plant I really wanted to talk about is chervil, and chervil is in the parsley family, so it's an herb. Some people call it chervil. I call it chervil, and it tastes a little bit like licorice, so it has a great flavor, especially for smoothies. Actually, if you put it in with some fruit, it's amazing. But chervil is high in bioflavonoids that help you to absorb vitamin C. So when you're adding things like watercress that's high in vitamin C, and other greens, there's lots of greens that are high in vitamin C, and then you add your chervil, it just helps make all of it even better and kind of boost up what you can absorb. Here I have some parsley, and you saw me grab some cilantro by accident, but I like to grab that on purpose too. So I like to add just a handful or so of herbs from my tower. Chervil is an herb, so that would be included in that. Cilantro, parsley, fenugreek. I grow fenugreek on the tower. Fenugreek is really cool because if you are an athlete, it helps to boost performance. There's some studies on that. Beet greens, same thing. Beet greens are amazing. They're not an herb, but they're an amazing one to add to your juice and grow super easy on the tower. And another herb that may seem a little bit strange to juice, but is also high in vitamin C and K and antioxidants, and really like all of this stuff supports all of this, is what you can find if you start to read about just the healing properties of plants. But the one I'm talking about is dill, and I was afraid to juice this. I thought it would make it taste like pickle juice, but it doesn't. It just adds a nice aromatic flavor to juices. You can almost not even taste it. And one trick too, when you're growing aeroponically, eventually your plants mature and it's time to say goodbye to them, so you can open up a spot to another plant and continue to grow a lot of food in a short amount of time. That's what growing this way is about. It's about a fast turnover of really nutrient dense foods that we can get into our bodies. So this is my dill. Definitely time to say goodbye to this one. I've eaten off of it for 4 months. I have replacement baby dill in the tower, so I can go ahead and remove this. So what I like to do, instead of wasting this and just composting it back, I will take all of this stem and all of these parts that weren't eaten, and I will juice them and just get all the nutrients that are still inside that dill into my green juice. And where I took out that dill, I'm gonna go ahead and put in a purple bok choy. I don't have a lot of purple on my tower right now, but it's something I try to keep on my tower most of the time. I have some red chard and a few different colors, but was just lacking some color. And we know color does affect what's in the plant and some of the compounds that make it nutritious, the whole eat the rainbow idea. So this is purple bok choy, and I'm gonna stick it right where I took out that dill. And to free up some space so that bok choy can get enough light, I am going to harvest one of my next favorite things to juice, and that is cabbage leaves. So you can eat off of the cabbage as it's growing and producing the cabbage head. You can eat the leaves around it that are really just taking up space and blocking out light from other plants. So these are awesome to add to your green juice. They are also one that I use specifically for estrogen detox. All right, and there are actually so many more things I'm growing that could be juiced on these towers, but I wanted to give you an idea of some specific things I like to juice and show you what those look like when you grow them aeroponically. This is collard greens, and I like to put collard greens into my juice because they're a great green to support detoxification, which is one of the reasons why we juice. So they're a great option to add. I also have some bok choy down here that I'll do what's called cut and come again, where you just take the leaves that you want and they continue to grow. And I also have some baby kale. These aren't super big yet, but these are adding more purple into the diet. These are a kale that get a purple stem, and actually the leaves end up turning blue. So we just get all of those colors into our diet, and you can see how green these plants are and just how full of nutrition they are and how fresh they are. And then just to add some diversity, I just went around the tower and grabbed a few extra things like mustards, bok choy. I've got lots of different varieties of kales. All my kales are in the baby phase at this point. You can just see how green all of this is, and hear how crisp and fresh everything is. So that is it. These are some things that I come out and harvest every 2 to 3 days to make my super green lemonade, is what I call it. And I just mix these with apple, lemon, and ginger. So it's a pound of greens, 4 medium-sized apples, a lemon with the peel, make sure all of that's organic, and then maybe a quarter-sized piece of ginger. Juice it up, divide it into 2 jars. One immediately goes into the fridge and one is ready to enjoy for the day. So I hope this motivates you to grow some greens on an aeroponic tower, to start juicing every day, just to up-level your health. I will tell you, when you drink a green juice and then come and harvest this gorgeous lettuce to make a salad, it's hard to eat bad when you put these things into your body first. It makes those other poor choices that I would have made before in the past harder to do, because this is so filling and so nutritious and so delicious. I hope that's what this inspires you to do, to get out there, juice some greens, grow some fresh greens, and just help to make those little changes that make a huge impact over time. All right, guys, so here is my giant basket of greens. It's about a pound. I've gotten to where I can pretty much feel it. It's a pound of greens that I'm going for 2 drinks. And this is at least 10 different varieties of plants, herbs, and the freshest, cleanest nutrition I can go put into my juicer and then directly into my cells. So I hope you guys will join me on this juicing journey. Post in the comments your favorite juice recipes. I'm actually terrible at recipes. I just do greens, apple, lemon, and ginger almost every time. Sometimes pineapple and herbs is another one I like to do. But if you've got some amazing green juice recipes you love, post them in the comments below. I would love some inspiration and to hear what you guys are juicing and what healing stories you may have found through juicing. So I hope this video inspires you to grow some of your own greens and juice them.